Deep space lay outside the hull. The starship ISS Far Horizon slid through it on slow patrol, engines humming. Eli Torres walked the last stretch of corridor toward his cabin. He was a human engineer, tall, tired, jumpsuit stained with grease. 16 hours of repairs sat in his shoulders like weights. He wanted only one thing, a hot shower and a few hours of sleep. His cabin door opened with a soft hiss, small bunk, small desk. The steady hum of the ship under the floor. Eli dropped his tool belt, tossed his wrist, come on the desk face down. Whatever messages waited could wait. He stepped into the bathroom. Barely more than a metal box, one sink, a mirror. A narrow shower with a curved glass door. He twisted the tap. Hot water rushed through the pipes. Steam rose around him in slow white clouds. The lights flickered once, then steadied. Eli frowned. Then pushed the thought away. Tomorrow he would fix the power grid. Tonight he would wash. He stripped off his jumpsuit and stepped under the spray. Heat hit his skin, washing off dust and noise. He braced one hand on the wall and closed his eyes. For a few calm seconds, there was nothing but water and the soft beat of engines. Steam thickened, turning the glass door white. Eli barely noticed. Sleep tugged at him like gravity. Then a new sound slipped into the room. A faint scrape on metal, close and light, tap, tap, tap. Like tiny claws walking across the floor, his eyes snapped open. He turned his head toward the door, but saw only fog. Slowly he wiped a clear patch on the glass with his hand. Someone stood in his bathroom. The figure was no taller than his waist. Two sharp little wings folded against its back. A long tail lay on the tiles behind it, tip curling and uncurling. Its body was covered in smooth dark scales like built-in armor. Thin lines of orange light ran under the scales along its arms and throat. Short horns pushed through dark hair. And a pair of bright golden eyes stared directly at him, steady and unafraid. The small creature tilted its head, studying him. To Eli, it looked like a tiny dragon had taken the shape of a girl. He slipped on the slick floor and smacked his shoulder into the wall. He grabbed the safety rail, heart hammering. "What the hell?" he shouted. "How did you get in here? Who are you?" The dragon girl did not jump, did not scream. She blinked once, very slowly, as if he was the strange thing in the room. When she spoke, her voice was soft and clear. The words plain English. "You are very loud for someone who wants sleep," she said, "and very big. You almost fill this whole shell." Eli stared. Mind racing and getting nowhere, no docking alarm, no boarding call. No report of new aliens, yet here she was. Wings, tail, claws, in his locked bathroom. He slammed his palm on the red emergency button. It should have pinged security at once. Instead it gave a dull error tone and a single red blink, then nothing. The girl lifted a claw-tipped hand and wiggled her fingers. "I locked that," she said calmly. "No signal leaves this room." "They must not find me yet," Eli repeated. "Throat dry. Who is they? And why are you in my shower?" She stepped closer to the glass. Steam curled around her face, making her eyes glow. Her palm pressed flat to the door, claws clicking softly. From this distance he saw faint scars between the scales of her wrist, like old restraints. "This water place was the safest hollow inside your ship," she said. "I changed the jump at the last moment and arrived here, not perfect, but better than fire." "Jump," Eli said. "You jumped into a moving ship. That is impossible, and the worst idea in every safety manual." Her mouth curled in a small, sharp smile. "Impossible is what humans are famous for." "Is it not?" she asked. "That is why I came from where?" Eli asked. The dragon girl straightened. Her wings opened a little, catching the ceiling light, when she spoke again. Her voice carried a formal weight. "I am Varese. Third daughter of the Ember Throne," she said. "Princess of the Dragon Clans. And deserter of their war." Eli stared, water forgotten. "Princess," he echoed. "War. There is no war out here." We are on quiet patrol, nothing more. Varys's tail tapped the floor in a nervous rhythm. There will be, she answered. Your ship has already been marked. My people hunt me, and they know I came to humans. As if her words pulled the future closer, the deck under Eli's feet shivered. The engine tone dropped to a deep growl. Through the open bathroom door, he saw the cabin lights shift from white to red. A calm computer voice spoke from the ceiling. Attention all crew, unknown vessels detected on long-range scan. All hands to alert stations, steam wrapped around Varys like smoke. Too late, she said quietly, they are here. Eli Torres stood in the shower of a ship now under threat, staring at a 3-foot-tall dragon princess who had broken his alarm and jumped through solid metal to reach him. Now his crew sat on the edge of something he did not understand. Why us? He asked. Why my ship? Why humans? Varys met his eyes without fear. Because humans look at monsters and do not always run. She said, sometimes you talk to them, sometimes you save them, and this time, I need you to save more than one. She opened her other hand. In her small palm lay a crystal device, glowing with fierce blue light. This is why they chase me, she said. This little star can change the whole war, if you are brave enough to help. Eli shut off the water with a quick twist. The roar in the shower died, leaving only the hum of the ship and his own fast breathing. Steam filled the tiny bathroom like white fog. Varys stayed where she was, claws on the metal floor. Wings folded in. I am not here to harm you, human, she said. If I wanted that, I would not arrive while you are naked and unarmed. That really does not make me feel better, Eli said. He grabbed a towel, wrapped it tight around his waist, and stepped out of the stall. Up close he saw dark scales laid like armor plates. Her eyes were bright gold and steady. Far too calm for her small size. Explain, he said. How did you get through sealed hull and lock codes to appear in my shower? Varys tilted her head. I used a microfold gate. Very short jump, she said. Your people think it is impossible inside metal, because it usually turns you into paste in the walls. Eli said. She nodded once. Your water lines are hollow paths through the ship. I first aimed for your engine heart, but my hunters would search there. So at the last breath I changed the endpoint to the biggest water hollow. Your shower, Eli stared. You risked dying in our pipes just to hide on one human ship. He said, small dragons must risk more. She said with a tiny shrug, before he could answer. The deck gave a deep shiver. Far away something huge had just arrived. Red alert lights blinked on in his cabin beyond the door. From the ceiling the ship's calm computer voice spoke. Attention all crew, unknown vessels on close scan. All hands to battle stations. Eli stepped into the main cabin. Varys padded after him. On the wall, his small screen turned itself on. A tactical map showed the far horizon as a blue dot. Around it, new red dots popped into existence. Forming a loose circle, each red contact carried the same sharp emblem. A dragon head wrapped in flame. Varys's tail drooped when she saw it. My clan, she whispered. They followed the trace of the core. They will hail you. Offer to let your ship go if you return me. They will not keep that promise. Eli folded his arms, towel clutched in one hand. What did you steal that scares them this much? He asked. Varys lifted her right hand. In her palm the small crystal glowed with cold blue light. This, she said. The air around the object seemed to buzz. What does it do? He asked. It breaks chains, she said. Not metal ones, mind ones. My people ride war dragons. Giants as large as your ship. We control them through towers and pain cords, if they resist. We crush their thoughts until they forget they ever had a choice. Her fingers closed around the core. This sends a different command. She went on quietly. It tells every war dragon. You are free. You may refuse. You may turn on those who chained you. Eli looked from the crystal to her face. And you stole it, he said. From your own throne, yes, she answered. I rode inside a war dragon once. I felt it screaming without sound. So I took the only tool that could change it and ran. The ship shook again, harder. Far below them, a dull boom rolled through the hull. His wristcom on the desk flashed urgent red. He grabbed it and tapped "Accept Torres here," he said. Lieutenant Murat's voice came through. Clipped and tight. "We have multiple hostiles out there." "Eli," she said, "all marked with some dragon symbol. They are demanding we hand over a traitor and a stolen core. Also, your cabin sent an emergency ping, then cut off. You good?" Eli's gaze slid toward the bathroom door. Varese stood in the frame, very still, the core clutched to her chest. The emergency button she had jammed sat dark on the wall. "I am fine," he said, forcing his voice calm. "Slipped in the shower, hit the button by accident." "No threat here, you sure?" Mara asked. "Positive," he said. "Just need to throw on a jumpsuit." "Where does the captain want me?" "Engineering on standby," Mara answered. "Right now she is busy trying to convince the lizards outside not to fry us. Feels like we are standing between them and something they really want." "Stay sharp, come out." The line clicked dead. Eli lowered the comm and met Varys's eyes, so he said, "They told us what they want. I am guessing that traitor is you, and that core is very familiar." Varese nodded. "They will call me a criminal, a danger, a thief," she said. "They will call this a weapon that twists minds instead of freeing them. If your captain has never seen dragon chains, she may believe their story." She stepped closer, looking up at him. "I did not choose humans because you are strong," she said. "I chose you because my people tell stories about you. They say humans fight even when they should run. They protect their own with teeth and fire. Sometimes they even protect strangers." Eli let out a weak laugh. "Bad luck," he said. "You ended up in the shower of a tired engineer who just wants to sleep, not start a war." "You already started one," Varese said softly. "You did not call your guards when you saw me. You listened." 3 hard knocks slammed into his cabin door. Eli jumped, nearly dropping his cum. "Security check," a voice called from the hall. "Open up, Torres. Captain wants all rooms on this deck cleared." Now Varese froze, wings pressed flat against her back. "If they see me," she whispered, "they will bring me before your captain. Maybe she hands me over, maybe not, but you will lose your own choice." The knocking came again, louder. "Torres, open this door, or we use override." Last warning. Eli stared at the doorpad, towel in one hand, cum in the other. Heart drumming in his ears, he could open up, step aside, and hope the dragons outside kept their word once they got their princess and their core. Or he could lie to his own people, hide a hunted alien in his shower, and drag the far horizon into a fight it had never planned for. Behind him, Varese stood in the fading steam. The blue core glowed like a small star against her chest. Her golden eyes stayed fixed on him, bright and steady, quietly waiting to see which path he would choose. Asterisk, the knocking on the door shook the whole small cabin. Metal rang with each hit. "Torres, last warning, open up now." Eli's hand hovered over the door control. His heart beat loud in his ears. Behind him, the steam from the shower was almost gone. Varese stood half hidden in the frame. "Wings tight against her back, if they find you," he said softly over his shoulder. "Will they know who you are?" "Yes," she answered. "My scent, my scales, the core. They will call their ship at once. Your captain will have to choose between me and your crew." Eli looked back at the door. He saw the shadow of a boot under the gap. He saw the small light that meant override codes were ready. He thought of his captain on the bridge, of the crew who trusted him to keep their engines alive. He thought of the giant red symbols on the scan, closing in like teeth. He thought of the war dragons in Varys's story, screaming in silence under chains. The next hit shook the door hard. All right, he shouted. "Stop trying to break the bulkhead. I am decent now." He slapped the control, and the door slid open. 2 security officers in light armor stood there, rifles slung but ready. Behind them, the corridor lights flashed red. People ran past toward battle stations. The taller officer, Juno, narrowed her eyes at him. "You took your time, engineer," she said. "We got an emergency ping from your cabin, then everything cut. You sure you are not dead or bleeding on the floor? Just bruised pride," Eli said. "Slipped in the shower, hit the button with my elbow. Systems probably shorted when I cursed it at it." The smaller guard leaned sideways to peer into the room. "Mind if we take a look?" he asked. "Protocol says we clear every cabin on this deck." Eli stepped into the doorway, filling most of the frame. "Nothing interesting in here," he said, forcing a lazy grin, "unless you want to admire my laundry." Behind his back, Varese moved. He did not hear her feet, but he felt a small shift in air. He kept his shoulders wide, blocking the view of the bathroom. Juno's gaze slid past his head for a second. Then another tremor shook the ship. Far away, a low boom rolled through the hull. Her wristcom chirped at the same time. "Bridge to security, all hands to critical posts. Dragon fleet has encircled us. They say we have 3 minutes to respond to their demand." "Copy," Juno said, jaw tight. She looked back at Eli. "If you see anything weird, Torres, you call us first. No hero moves." "Understood, sure," he said, loud enough to cover his own thoughts. "No heroes here." They turned and ran down the corridor at a jog. The door slid shut again, cutting off the red flashing lights. For a moment, Eli just stood there, towel still knotted at his waist. His legs felt like rubber. He let out a breath he did not know he had been holding. "You lied for me," Varese said quietly from the bathroom doorway. Eli turned. She was half in shadow, tail wrapped tight around one ankle. The blue core glowed faintly against her chest. "Yeah," he said, "let us hope I do not regret it." "You will," she answered, "but you will regret more if you do nothing." He snorted. "Comforting," he said. "Let me get some clothes on before we talk about ruining my whole career." A few minutes later, he stood in his clean jumpsuit, hair still damp. He clipped his cum to his wrist and pulled on his boots fast. Outside, the speaker in the ceiling carried the captain's voice through the ship. "All crew, this is Captain Ree. We have been contacted by the fleet outside. They claim a trader with stolen property is aboard our ship. They demand we hand over this person and object." Eli and Varese both looked up. Varys's claws dug into the metal at her feet. The voice continued, "We are opening a channel now. All non-essential crew hold positions." The cabin wall screen switched to a live feed from the bridge. Captain Ree stood straight at the center console, dark hair pulled back, eyes hard. On the main forward display, the face of an alien war leader glared back. It was tall and scaled, not small like Varese. Horns longer, armor heavier, eyes a burning orange. The symbol of a dragon head in flame shone on its chest plate. "This is High Warlord Koresh of the Dragon Clans." It said, "Your vessel holds a criminal of our blood. She has stolen a vital war core and must be returned." Captain Ree's voice stayed polite but cool. "We do not have any registered guests from your species." She said, "Are you sure you have the correct ship?" The warlord's eyes narrowed. "The core we track beats like a second star." "Human," it said, "it is on your vessel. We offer mercy. You will place the traitor in a pod with the core and eject it. We will retrieve her. Your ship will then be allowed to leave." Eli felt Varys's gaze on his face. "Is that true?" he asked in a whisper. "Would they really let us go?" Varese shook her head once. Slow and sharp. "No witnesses," she said. "They will take the core, then tear your ship apart. They cannot risk humans knowing dragons can be freed." On screen, Captain Ree did not answer at once. She folded her hands behind her back. "What is this criminal's name?" she asked. Varese flinched. The warlord bared long teeth. "Varys Emberthrone. Third daughter of the line," it said. She is a danger to the order of the clans. Return her or face the fire of our war dragons." The image flickered for a second as outside something huge moved. The tactical overlay showed 8 massive shapes surrounding the far horizon. Each was bigger than any human warship. Their hulls looked half metal, half living tissue. Dragon shapes with engines and guns fused to their bones. Captain Ree's summons went out across the ship. "Senior officers, report to the war room at once." Eli and Varese moved fast through the red-lit corridor. Crew ran past them, boots pounding on metal. Alarms flashed on the walls. Most people did not notice the small shape at Eli's side. Varese stayed close, half hidden by his leg in shadow. He had thrown a gray jacket over her. Her wings were folded tight under the cloth. Her tail dragged close to her ankles, so it looked like part of the fabric. "Your people smell afraid," she murmured, "and a little angry." "That is normal for humans," he said. "We get scared and angry together." They reached the door of the war room. 2 armed guards stood there, jaws tight. Only senior staff. One said, "No family, no guests." Eli looked down at Varese. She met his eyes, steady and calm. "We do not have time to argue," she whispered. "If I stay out here and your captain chooses wrong, then everything I risked is lost." Eli faced the guards. "She is part of this," he said. "You want to survive, you let us both in." The guard frowned. "Who even is she?" Varese slipped one small scaled hand out from the jacket. Black smooth scales, faint orange glow, little claws. The guard's eyes went wide. "Is that the thing they want?" he breathed. "That is the person they want," Eli said. "And the one who knows what those ships outside can really do. If you push her back into the hallway, you may never know if we had another option." The guards traded a look. The ship shook softly under their feet. "War dragons were moving somewhere close in space. Let them in," the second guard said. "If the captain is going to yell, she can yell at you, not me." The war room door slid open. Inside, a round table glowed with star maps and red contacts. Captain Ree stood at the head, Security Chief Juno, Lieutenant Mara. The navigator, medic, and comms chief sat around it. All eyes turned as Eli walked in. The tiny cloaked figure beside him drew every stare. The door closed behind them with a soft thud. "You are late, Torres," Ree said. "And you brought someone who is not on my crew list." Varese stepped out from under the jacket. She let it fall to the floor. Her wings stretched once, then folded again. Orange light traced under her scales like fire lines. Gasps moved around the table. Juno's hand dropped toward her sidearm. Mara's eyes went hard, ready to fight. Varese raised both hands slowly, "Empty, if you shoot me." She said in calm, simple English, "The fleet outside still kills you. The core still sits on this ship until they take it in pieces. The only thing that changes is the dragons out there stay slaves." Ree lifted a hand and Juno stopped. Her focus stayed on Varese, sharp and careful. "You said your name on the bridge," Ree said. "Vara's Ember Throne." "Is that right?" "Yes," Varese answered. "Third daughter of the Ember Throne. Traitor to my own clans, enemy of their chains." She walked to the glowing table. The map showed the far horizon as a single blue dot in the middle. Around it 8 huge red shapes pulsed, the war dragons. Behind them smaller red marks showed clan cruisers and control ships. Varese pointed with one claw at the big red shapes. "Those are not just ships," she said. "They are living dragons with metal in their bones. My people grew them, chained them, built guns into their flesh. Your scanners see engines and guns only. I see minds older and stronger than mine. Forced to obey." She placed the blue crystal core on the center of the table. Its light flowed over the map like a small star. "This was built to make the chains tighter," she went on. "It tells every dragon obey or drown in pain. I changed it. Now it can send one message only. You are free." The comms chief leaned in. "If you send that message," he asked, "what happens to them?" Varese looked at the red dragon icons. Some will run, she said. Some will hide. Some will remember every hurt and turn their fire on their masters. If enough choose to fight, your ship lives. And if they do nothing, Juno said, or if they just burn us first, then you die, Varese said. Her voice stayed steady. But if you hand me over, you still die. The warlord lied when he said you could leave. The clans cannot let humans know dragons can deny orders. Silence settled over the room. Engines hummed under their feet. Everyone could feel how close the giant shapes were outside. Eli cleared his throat. Captain, he said. They are here because she tried to stop a war made from prisoners. We can give her back and pretend we did not know, or we can stand with her and give those dragons a real choice for the first time. We are one ship, Juno snapped. They are a fleet. You are asking us to bet every life here on alien monsters suddenly growing hearts. You already saw one, Eli said. He nodded toward Varese. She had a throne, power, safety. She left all that to free others. You call that a monster? The medic shifted in her seat. She looked at Varese and saw not a threat, but a tired small person shaking slightly. It makes her brave, the medic said quietly. Ree's fingers tapped a slow beat on the table. Her eyes moved from the map, to Eli, to Varese. The warlord outside gave us 10 minutes. She said, we have used some already. Here is my answer. She pushed the core gently back toward Varese. Far Horizon does not hand people over to chains or cages. She said, not while I wear this badge. If there is even a chance your plan works. We take it, Varese swallowed. You agree to fight beside me. She whispered, we agree not to be cowards. Ree answered, we are human. We do not feed a refugee to the beasts at our own door. Juno blew out a breath. Fine, she muttered. Then we make it hurt if we go down. The Comes chief straightened. We need a way to talk to those dragons. He said, to send this signal. Their tech is not built for us. We will need a bridge between systems. All eyes turned to Eli. Engineer, Ree said. Can you make a human ship talk to a dragon's mind? Eli felt fear in his gut. He also felt a strange rising heat. Not anger, not only fear, something sharper. Give me access to main comms in the strongest array, he said, and a clear shot at one of those big boys. We will see how fast humans can improvise. Ree nodded once. Then move, she said. Before our 10 minutes become none, asterisk, the war room broke into motion. Chairs scraped, boots hit the deck, orders flew like sparks. Comes, Ree said. Route your best dish to engineering, security, lock every airlock tight. If they board us, I want them to work for every meter. Yes, Captain, Juno said, already speaking into her wrist unit. Eli scooped up the blue core from the table. It was warm in his palm, like a living heart. Varese hurried beside him as they left the room. You are sure about this? She asked. I am sure. I am tired of watching bullies win. He said, let us give them a surprise. They ran through the ship together. Past hurrying crew, closed blast doors, flashing red lights. Voices shouted codes and status updates over the speakers. In space, the war dragons tightened their ring. Their long bodies shifted, their gun turrets turned. The Far Horizon sat small in their center like prey on the bridge. Captain Ree stood with hands folded behind her back. Her eyes watched the enemy shapes on screen. Her mind counted down the minutes. Open a line, she told the comm station. Just audio, ship-wide, a soft tone sounded. Every speaker on the Far Horizon carried her voice. All crew, this is Captain Ree. The fleet outside offers us a deal. Hand over someone who came to us for help, then trust they will show mercy. Her lips curled in a hard smile. That is not how humans work. She said, we protect our own, and sometimes we protect people who are not ours. Just because it is right. She glanced toward the main screen. We will not hand over this dragon princess. We will not help an empire keep its slaves. We may not win this, but if we fall as humans, not as cowards. In engineering, Eli heard the speech over the hiss of coolant and the hum of power lines. Around him, techs paused for a second, then moved faster. Morale hit like a wave. Humans do not hand over friends. One muttered, "Damn straight." Another answered. Eli reached the main comms rack. Long cables glowed with signal flow. Screens showed frequencies, noise, the heavy shadows of the war dragons outside. Varese stood on a stool beside him. She placed the core carefully on an open panel. Blue light flared. The nearby gauges jumped. "This is not a clean link," she warned. "Your hardware was not made for this. It may break." "It only needs to work once," Eli said. He began to patch cables, rerouting main array control through a spare processor. He used tricks he had learned in dirty shipyards and half-broken stations. Nothing pretty, everything fast, on one screen. A war dragon signal graph pulsed. Its mind link frequency was a jagged pattern, too complex for normal comms. Varese reached out and placed her fingers on the screen. Her eyes narrowed. She hummed a low note in her throat. Matching the pattern, there, she said. "See that spike? That is the pain channel. That is where the control towers push their commands. If we cut in through that space and replace pain with freedom, every dragon will feel it." Eli nodded. He'd built a code path from the core, through the array, and into that narrow window. "We will ride their own whip line," he said, above them. The ship shook from another near miss, shields down to 60%. Someone shouted over the internal comm, "They are firing warning shots." "Next volley will not miss, hurry," Varese whispered. Her claws dug into the metal so hard they scratched. Eli slammed one last connector into place. Lights on the panel shifted from red to green. "Core is tied in," he said. "We can blast your message straight into their nerves." Varese lifted the core with both hands. Her eyes glowed brighter as she focused on it. "This will feel like a screen turned inside out." She said, "For them and for me, do not let go of the link." "Human, I will not," he said, on the bridge. The warlord's face appeared again. "Time is over," it said. "You had your chance. Give us the traitor now or burn." Reese stared back. Her voice was calm. "We choose a different option," she said. "We choose to talk to your dragons instead." Before the warlord could answer, she cut the channel. "Engineering now," she ordered. Eli met Varys's eyes. "Ready?" he asked. "As I will ever be," she said. Her wings shook once, then stilled. She pressed the core against her chest. Blue light sank into her scales. For a breath, she looked like a little statue made of star fire. "Send it," she whispered. Eli hit the command. Energy poured from the ship's reactors into the array, then out into the black, riding the hidden line Varese had marked. A silent wave rushed from the far horizon toward the ring of war dragons. Invisible to human eyes, sharp and clear to any chained mind it touched. "You are free, you are free, you are free." Asterisk. The wave left the far horizon like a ghost. It crossed the small distance to the nearest war dragon in a heartbeat. Inside that giant living ship, a mind long pressed under pain flinched. For years it had known only commands wrapped in knives. Turn, fire, obey, hesitate and burn. Now suddenly, something different arrived in the same path. No screen, no order, only a simple bright idea. You can say no. The dragon's eyes flared in space, its long body shuddered. Control spikes in its skull flickered. Unhuman sensors, strange patterns appeared. "Large vessel 1 is changing heading." The navigator shouted, "It is breaking formation." On the warlord's flagship, officers yelled over each other. "They are glitching. Reset the control towers. Increase the pain level." A second war dragon felt the same soft push. It remembered worlds it had burned. It remembered hatchling songs before chains. It trembled, then twisted. In space, its nose swung away from the human ship. In engineering, The strain hit Varese like a flood. The core burned bright against her chest. Her small body rocked as hundreds of minds brushed hers. "Too many," she gasped. "Their fear is like fire." Eli grabbed her shoulders to keep her from falling. He could feel a faint vibration through her scales. "Like power lines under skin. Can you hold it?" He asked. "I must," she whispered. No one else can show them the door. Her scales dimmed in places. Marks like long old scars lit up and then faded. "You are pushing yourself too hard," Eli said. "What do you need?" "Heat," she said. "Water, a closed space. Somewhere I can shift shape and not burn your ship." Eli blinked once. Then a very stupid, simple idea came into his head. "Of course," he said. "The shower." He scooped her up without asking. She was lighter than she looked. He ran out of engineering. Down the nearest ladder, through side corridors. Behind them, alarms wailed. "Enemy cruisers are charging weapons," a voice called. "Shields at 40%, on the bridge." Captain Ree watched the war dragons twist in confusion. Some tried to hold position, some drifted. One moved to shield the others, as if unsure who the enemy was now. "Whatever you are doing down there," she said into the cum, "do it faster, Torres." Eli burst into his cabin. He set Varese down on the bathroom floor. "Can you stand?" he asked. She nodded weakly. Her legs shook. But she forced herself upright. "Turn the water to the highest heat." She said, "Fill this place with steam. I will do the rest." Eli hit the controls. Hot water roared. Steam poured into the small room. The glass fogged over in seconds. Varese stepped under the stream fully dressed. Water slid over black scales and glowing lines. She closed her eyes in her mind. The voices of war dragons still pressed against her. Lost, afraid, angry, she sent the core's message again and again. "You are free, you can choose." Heat soaked into her body. Energy from the core pushed through her blood. Her form began to shift. Not naked, not exposed, her scales thickened. Armor plates grew smoother and heavier. Horns lengthened a little, her wings stretched wider. Her outline in the steam grew taller by a small amount. Her shoulders broader, everything about her looked more solid. Eli stood just outside the stall. Back to the glass, rifle in hand, he could not see details. Only a dragon-shaped glow. "You good in there?" He called over the roar of water. Almost, her voice came back, deeper now. "Hold the door. Do not let anyone interrupt." Outside the cabin, footsteps pounded past. Someone shouted orders. No one tried the handle on the bridge. One war dragon suddenly swung fully away from its control cruiser. Its mouth opened. White fire built at the back of its throat. "They are powering main guns," the navigator cried. "Target is." The comms officer cut in. "It is not us. They are aiming at their own command ship." The blast burst from the dragon's jaws. It hit the control cruiser full on. Shields around it flared, then shattered. Metal split. Debris spun. On the warlord's screen, chaos broke loose. "What is happening to them?" he shouted. "Shut down the rogue beast. We are trying," someone yelled. "They are not listening. Something else is in the link." In the shower, Varese opened her eyes. They glowed like two small suns. Her voice shook as she spoke. "One listened," she said. "One turned. More can follow." Ayla risked a quick look through a small clear patch in the fog. Her face looked the same and different, older, more sure. Her armor like scales shone brighter, no skin showed. Only living black metal and glowing lines. "You look terrifying," he said. "In a good way." "Good," she answered. "Terrifying is useful today." She stepped out of the shower. Steam curled around her like a cloak. Water dripped from her wings and tail. She held the core in both hands, steady now. "Let us go see what our dragons have decided," she said. They left the cabin together. Varese walked with faster steps now. Her upgraded armor, like scales, clicked softly. The blue core glowed steady against her chest. In the corridors, crew members stared as they passed. Some flinched at the sight of the tiny dragon girl, some nodded once, as if they already knew she was on their side, on the bridge. Captain Ree stood in front of the main screen. The room buzzed with reports. The big display showed a war dragon breaking full formation. Its body turned away from the human ship, its fire already cutting into its own command cruiser. Eli and Varese stepped through the door just in time to see the second blast. A second war dragon opened its jaws. This time it fired not at a human, but at the control tower ship that fed it pain. Control vessels 2 and 3 are hit. The navigator reported, their signals are dropping. The dragons, they are. He shook his head. They are choosing targets on their own. On another screen, the warlord's face appeared again. He looked less calm now. What have you done, human? He snarled at Ree. What have you done to our fleet? We gave them a choice, Ree said, something you forgot to do. Behind the warlord, officers were shouting. Panels flashed warnings. The ship shook as the freed war dragons turned and fired. Some flew away, engines bright. Some simply folded their wings and drifted. Refusing all orders, you think this wins you anything? The warlord spat, you have broken our tools. We will build new ones, and we will burn your worlds first. Varese stepped forward beside Ree. The warlord's eyes widened when he saw her new form. Daughter, he hissed, look at what you have become. A traitor wearing human dirt. I became what you would not, Varese said quietly. Someone who listens to the screams you choose not to hear. You think these humans will protect you. He said, they are weak. They hide in metal shells. They will betray you to save themselves. Ree smiled without warmth. We already refused that bargain, she said. And we are still here, outside. One freed war dragon moved between the far horizon and a loyalist cruiser. It took a heavy blast on its own scales to shield the human ship. The hit made it roar in pain, but it did not move aside. That one just took a shot meant for us. Mara whispered, her eyes were wide, on the tactical map. More red icons turned from sharp enemy markers into neutral signs. They were no longer answering clan codes. They moved like lost giants trying to find a new center. The warlord looked around his own bridge as another explosion rocked it. Get us out of here, he shouted. All remaining ships jump. We will rebuild far from this madness. His image cut out on the external view. The last loyalist ships spun up their drives. They warped away in a flare of light, in their wake. The human ship floated in a growing cloud of debris and silent war dragons. No more enemy fire, the navigator said softly. Shields holding at 30%, no new targets, on the comms panel. Soft pings echoed, signals coming in, the comms chief said. Not from ships, from he swallowed, from the dragons. Varese closed her eyes. She did not need the audio, she heard them directly now. Thank you, what now, where do we go? She opened her eyes and looked at Ree. They are free and confused, she said. They do not know what to do with open sky. Ree took a breath. Open a channel, she told comms. All directions, no encryption. A soft tone sounded, you are live, Captain. This is Captain Ree of the Far Horizon, she said. To any dragon who hears this. We will not chain you. We will not make you burn worlds for us. If you want a safe place, follow us. If you want to leave, go. Your path is your own now. For a moment, nothing moved. Then one massive dragon shape drifted closer. It lowered its head beside the human ship. As if bowing in slow motion, another moved to the other side. The Far Horizon now had 2 gigantic escorts. More hung back, watching, thinking. In the quiet that followed, Eli let out a long, shaking breath. We did not die, he said. That is new, for today. Varese said, tomorrow there will be other battles. Other chains to break. Ree turned to her. You know they cannot go back to your clans now. She said, you cannot either. I never planned to, Varese answered. She looked up at Eli. My war is not finished. There are dragons still in cages on other fronts. Still wired into towers. You will need help. Ree said human help, Eli added. Varys's mouth curved in a small, sharp smile. Humans like trouble, she said. You jump into danger even when you could stay out. Yes, I will need that. Ree nodded once. Then here's our new course, she said to the bridge. Set long range for Terran space. We are going to tell our people what happened here after that. She glanced at the silent shapes moving slowly outside. We will see who wants to fight for a galaxy where dragons and humans choose their own battles. As the far horizon turned, the escorting war dragons turned with it. Together they moved into the dark, one small human ship and a pair of freed giants. Later, in a quiet moment, Eli stood again in his small bathroom. The shower was off, the room silent. Varys sat on the sink edge, legs swinging. Next time you appear in a human shower, he said, maybe send a message first. Next time, she agreed. I will knock, he grinned. And if you need help smashing more chains. I know where you live now, she said, tiny dragon girl. Big dangerous smile, out in the stars. Stories were already starting. About the day humans helped dragons say no.